we're applauding ourselves. That's theater. The theater is we're applauding ourselves.
Is that what theater is about?
Yes.
I've never seen a cast applaud them. They applaud each other. Should I applaud you and you applaud me? Thank you.
I bow down to you, Lisa Moyle.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, no, I've always had tremendous respect for you. You know that.
You insult me every time I see you.
Well, that's a form of respect.
Right. Thank you.
I have to do that. Maybe because I have so much respect for you that I have to neg you.
Talk me down.
I gotta belittle you a little bit. Otherwise, you're gonna.
Oh my God, that is so male of you.
Yes, it is. It's very male.
Yeah.
Now, women actually think that that's what men do, but we don't really do that. But you think that that's what we're doing.
Just because you say that doesn't mean you're doing it. I'm sorry, my dog.
Well, women think
also
this was actually.
for my attention.
This was actually because women, if they feel bad in a certain situation, I mean, it's a human thing to do this. If you feel bad, you think
you need someone to make you feel worse.
No, you think that someone is doing it to you when it's just they're in their own world.
So when he says, "Oh, you've put on a little weight," or "You don't look good in that," he's being kind.
He's not necessarily being kind. He's not. Did we do the sound thing? Guy. No, it's let me put this over here. The sound thing.
You're futzing.
I'm futzing. Okay. Let's leave the thing here. So
okay.
Because we've got the new. Okay. Anyway, let's just introduce ourselves and we'll talk about this. Welcome to Nunhead American Radio. This is Lewis Schaffer and with my beautiful co-host Lisa Moyle right here, and we're setting this up for
Resonance FM.
Should we start again? We're not going to start again.
Okay, why not? It's only 1 minute and 42 seconds of drivel.
Right?
We've got 29 more to go.
29 more. We're fixing up the thing. It's. I know it should be like perfect radio.
I thought you were introducing the show.
Nunhead American Radio.
Yes.
With me, Lewis Schaffer. With you.
Reluctantly, Lisa Moyle.
You reluctantly, Lisa
I thought
Moyle.
you were reluctantly. You
introducing you.
Yeah.
Well, I prefer it with my own show.
I know. You have that opportunity every week, and then you're like, "Where are you? Where are you? Where are you?"
Because you know what? I need someone to talk to. I'm lonely.
You need someone to belittle.
And no, that's my point. The point I want to make is that this is what I think. I think. Like if I say, "Wow, you look a bit fat," that is. It could just be
would be our last show.
It could be you look a bit fat. It would be our last show. Right, because women are so sensitive. They're really sensitive about it.
Men are subjected to the gaze like women are from all directions. Not just the male gaze, the public gaze. The other women gaze. We're judged constantly.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas you can, show up like you did to the door earlier, putting your trousers on, and nobody bats an eyelash.
Just stop saying that. It sounds like I was coming.
You were finalizing your dressing.
I was tucking in my shirt. I wanted to look good before you came. I wasn't expecting you to be on time, and you were on time.
I was, yeah. I made an effort.
Which I appreciate. Thank you, Lisa Moyle. And I think the Resonance Radio audience is that you make.
They don't know if I'm on time or not.
They don't know, but I think they like the idea that you're on time. You take Resonance seriously, which we have. We've been on this thing for so many years.
Oh my God, so many years. We're probably one of the longest shows now, if I believe, on Resonance.
Yeah, but
who's longer than us?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to other people.
Yeah.
But like you said, which is very interesting, that people pay attention to women. They look at you. They look you up and down. They're judging you.
Mm-hmm. Right? They are. They're calculating our age, our weight, our height, our style.
Right. Now imagine you're a man and no one notices anything unless you're unbelievably good looking. Or maybe really ugly, just so ugly.
Yeah, but you are someone who relishes attention even if it's negative.
I do.
Sometimes women would just like to quietly fly under the radar, walk down the street without anyone feeling they had to make a comment. Yes. I remember when I was pregnant with my first child, and you think, everyone's going to leave me alone now. And then people just shout random things about you being pregnant.
Because you're pregnant. But they said, good luck or something. What were they
Some were less pleasant. I remember someone saying, I'm not going to say it on air. I was walking past the Swiss Cottage movie theater.
Yeah.
The movie theater over that way.
That's not in Switzerland.
No, it's in North London. I was living in North London the first time I gave birth, and I was really heavily pregnant.
Right.
And I was going to meet my partner then for
your future
anyway, so I was walking on my own.
Your partner, but were you married at the time?
I don't know if we must have been married by then. Yeah, we were married by then. Anyway, and there were these guys working on a building, and normally women get this instinctive like when they walk past guys working outside.
Yeah.
But I was relaxed because I'm like, look at me, I'm 8 months pregnant. And this guy said, "Hey, oh, look, you're pregnant, I'd still you.
Yeah. Well, you were good looking at the time. At the time, you were proper good looking. Mm-hmm. Do you look back on that and say, "What? Okay,
what? I should have celebrated. Missed that." No,
yeah, you don't miss that. But you know what?
Yeah.
Do you think anybody ever talks to a guy and says, "Well, you're really good looking"? Put yourself in the guy's
I mean,
thing.
you won't want random women to shout at you on the street when you're walking alone.
Something, anything, you wouldn't believe it. There's a total death of attention.
Oh my God, that's why men are so needy.
Yes, of course it is. We get nothing.
They're not being violated enough on the streets.
Yeah, not even violated, just any kind of attention. Negative, maybe negative attention. You see them looking at you when they cross the street. You see that a lot of women being afraid of you, women not looking at you. But you don't see any women, maybe because I'm older now, they don't smile at me.
They don't?
No.
Maybe
they
you're
don't
not smiling at them. Maybe it's where and when do you want them to smile at you? At all times? Or when you've introduced yourself and you're saying hello? Or do you want them to walk up behind you at night on the street and go, hi?
Yeah.
You do.
Something, anything. You don't realize how absolutely painful it is to be a man.
No, I don't.
You don't. Can you see that could be something different?
No, because I think the joy of being left alone unless you want attention is so powerful.
Yeah. But the thing is with women, and I've heard this said many times. By
other men.
I remember there was a thing where they had this woman dress up as an old woman as an experiment. She was in her 20s or something for a magazine article. And she said, no one's noticing me.
She was a 20-year-old woman who couldn't believe there was a world, in which you were older. And then, a lot of women at, my age and older think, God, this is quite liberating in many ways.
Yeah, it could be, but also because it's happened to you gradually, to us gradually.
Exactly.
It isn't like we've suddenly gone off, as they call it, the wall, where suddenly people
we're off the radar.
Off the radar. It's actually called the wall.
It is?
Yeah.
By whom? By weirdos?
By weirdos.
Oh, okay.
By my community.
People. Yeah. Those, It's
like
mentionables.
where suddenly it's like no one notices. I remember running into Raquel Welch in.
Is this a true story?
This is a true story. She's dead, so I can say this.
Yes. You often tell stories about people when they're dead that are fairly outrageous and highly untrue.
Yeah, that's what makes them funny.
But this one is true.
I think it happened to me. I think I was there.
It didn't happen to you.
Or it was explained to me. It was
so you've heard this from someone.
I might have heard of it.
So did it happen to you, in fact?
I think it did happen. Where she was in the casino in Atlantic City. So this was in the 1980s. And we were sitting at the blackjack table. And she walked in and wanted to sit down. And she basically jumped on top of my friends, saying, hey, this didn't happen to me. This is so weird because I actually think that it happened to me.
Oh my God, you are old. Okay.
Yeah. Not that I forgot.
So, but you were there or they told you?
I think they told me, but it seemed like such a believable thing.
That you almost feel like you were there.
Or maybe it was real because it's so vivid in my mind how she was an older woman by my thing. In 1980, I was... 1986, how old was I? 57, 86. I was 30 years old. And she might have been in her mid-40s, late 40s. And we thought she was just so old. I mean, she was still attractive. But she was so old. And she was like, why aren't you paying attention to me? And I think that's... Not that women don't deserve attention, but they expect a very high level of attention. And when it's not there... Okay, and I think this is, I don't know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, maybe you should just stop and introduce the show.
Introduce the show. So this is Lewis Schaffer. Because we're filming on a very weird day. This is a Monday. Our show is on later tonight because we're not in the studio. This is the only radio program for Americans living in Nunhead. And
hallelujah.
Hallelujah. And
let the people be represented.
Let the people be represented. But you said last week, Nunhead is in the news. It's all over the place.
I wasn't here last week. That was
2 weeks
else.
ago.
Thank you for noticing me.
What did we do? What did we do last week?
Did you have Laura? I was away. Did you have Laura Synthesis?
No.
Oh, you didn't.
I didn't. Have you spoken to Laura?
Pourquoi pas?
Well, I don't know if I should explain it. She says she doesn't want to be on the show because I'm a misogynist.
Oh, right. She's known you for a long time.
I know, it's a bit weird.
Why is it like just now? Did you say something in particular recently?
I don't know. She didn't
give you a reason.
She didn't like the last time we spoke.
Who? You
Laura
and her?
I know, you and me.
The last show, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Was this
Remember
red pill, blue pill, this pill, that pill? That was the breaking point for her.
I guess so.
Laura, if you're listening, it's all garbage. You and I know that.
Right, she knows that it's garbage, but the question is, does she...
She doesn't want to be associated with you.
Yeah.
She should just do what I do and say, I completely and utterly disagree with it.
Yeah.
And I think they're a bunch of weirdos.
Right, and you think that I'm being weird. That's perfectly okay.
Yes, I don't know why you've hitched your wagon there, but I have a feeling, knowing you, that could change in the next 6 to 12 months, because you'll probably be done with that phase. You know how you do these things, and like some of them last for quite a while, like your diabetes thing and your diet.
Right.
And other ones you move on, like electricity.
Madeline
Life
McCann.
is Beautiful, Madeline McCann. Sometimes you do a little touch of the old now and again, and people go, "Oh, Lewis, come on." But mostly you move on with your obsessions.
Right, the cemetery thing and things.
Cemeteries, you've moved on, but you still have a residual caring of green spaces.
I was on ITV last week.
Were you?
Yes.
How come? Why don't you tell me these things?
Because it was a nothing. It was an absolutely nothing.
They had you on for no reason.
We could talk about that. Okay. No, because they...
Anyway, my message to you is...
This is to Laura or to me?
To Laura, to listeners. I don't agree with anything. Most things. I agreed with trees.
Right.
I don't agree with most things that you say, which is the foundation of our relationship.
And I don't agree with most things that you say.
Exactly. But I don't think you're like weird like those red pill, blue pill people. I think you're fascinated by it.
Yeah.
Because there are parts of you that are a little angry and bitter about certain life experiences.
Right.
But I think you recognize that that's what's driving you towards the deplorables.
No, but I also think that there's some truth in it. But also, we live in a world where we don't agree with each other. And that's, it's like I'm on this GB News thing.
Yeah, but like, I wouldn't sit next to a neo-Nazi and be like, hey, there's just things we're never going to agree on, like your rabid anti-Semitism.
No, but we can get past there.
No, we can't.
I think we can.
We can't. I'm not saying that. Don't identify with them. I'm just saying we all have our own lines that we draw.
Right.
And if you were like a rabid, racist, anti-Semitic, abusive towards women, Andrew Tate kind of character, I would cut ties.
Right, but where does that line come in?
Well, everyone has to decide for themselves.
I've spent a lot of time with people I would consider to be anti-Semitic.
Well, but, lucky for you.
I mean, no, that I wouldn't.
You have to draw the line where you see fit.
Where lots of people...
When people are advocating violence against another group, I draw the line. You can draw your own lines. Maybe that's what Laura's done. Maybe she's drawn her line. You need to respect that.
I don't know. Am I saying, or are you saying that I have no personality? Because I'll hang out with anybody.
I am saying that.
You're saying that.
I am saying that. Maybe I'm saying you have no ethics. Maybe I'm saying you have no values. Maybe I'm saying you're willing to compromise them because you find those kind of interactions interesting.
Or maybe I could see both sides of the story.
No, there's nothing to be commended in seeing both sides, Donald Trump. There's absolutely nothing to celebrate.
But Donald Trump, I don't think he sees both sides of the story.
When he went, there's good people on both sides when in the Charlottesville thing.
Yeah, there are good people on both sides.
So you can celebrate your friends, the neo-Nazis. I personally would draw the line. I'm saying, maybe you have no ethics.
Yeah, you're probably
maybe you have no values. How much is too much for you?
You're probably right. I'm so flexible with all of this.
Yeah. But also you're flexing to one side now. I think that's the difference.
I don't think I'm only flexing to one side because the other side is that side, is a different side. That's why when I talk to people, like on the show that I'm on, Headliners, which I'm on tonight at 11:00, is that if someone says something so strongly, I immediately think, what's the other side?
Disagree.
I have to disagree, even if I don't want to disagree.
You have no values. You're just in a state of opposition, oppositional defiance.
No, you know what we were talking about? We were talking.
You and
I. No, so this is always the discussion of like, I've been defending Gary Lineker and Andrew Bridgen and do you know the guy Andrew Bridgen?
No. Who is
and
he?
And Diane Abbott. I shouldn't mention it because it's not that interesting.
Because why are you going to wade into those waters?
Because you
don't like to see people chastised for their words. No matter what those words are.
No,
which I think puts you out of step with a lot of other people.
Yeah.
No one's saying that, they should be arrested for those words, but they have to be accountable for them. There's a difference.
You know what? We in the Judeo-Christian faith believe in the meaning of the words and the intent. Mm-hmm. Okay, if something said is a joke, it's not the same. It's what's in your heart. Okay, if someone, which band do you think was a better band which is the best band of the '60s, the Beatles or the Rolling Stones?
I would say the Rolling Stones.
Wrong.
There's no need to destroy the equipment. Is it still recording?
I knocked the microphone off. But you know what I'm saying?
I disagree, I think is what you're saying.
No,
I hate
wrong.
when people say that. That's wrong. You're always like, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
Well, this is how people are when they say you can't compare it. The Beatles are the best band. I know people who think that. I would say...
Calm down, Tiger.
I would say Here's
why I think the Beatles are the better band.
Now,
Lisa.
let's just say you thought the Rolling Stones were the best band, and you can't compare them to other bands. And I say, well, what about the Beatles? And you go, no, the Rolling Stones, in terms of longevity, originality, in terms of hit songs, #1 songs, and they're still alive, making hundreds of thousands of people. The Beatles were just a flash in the pan, just they lived for 8 years or whatever they did.
Was it only 8 years?
I think so, 62. I mean, they started maybe 1960 when they were kids. So that's what I'm saying. Okay, so let's put us back on track on this show.
Yeah. Anyway, here we are.
I'll speak to Laura, and I hope Laura forgives me. I mean, understanding, and if she doesn't,
But maybe you should start by noting that you're not a misogynist.
I can't say that because it's not for me to say. If you think that, maybe I am. If you think that I am,
get a personality, get some beliefs, get a creed.
I don't think that I am.
Your only code is say whatever you want with no consequences. That's not really a code.
That isn't what I believe. I believe this is that I think it's like someone saying, "Are you good looking, Lisa Moyle?" And you go, "Yes, I am." And I go,
You're a 6.
No, I say you're a 6.
You're a 6. Wait. What was the quote? You're a 6 acting like a 9.
Did I say that to you?
Yes, you did. In the back of a car.
I just.
Obviously, I remember it.
You should remember it. It was wrong. I was wrong when I said
that. You're a 6 acting like a 7.
I didn't understand women because a lot of times.
That was last year. So what's happened in the past year?
I've changed because I think women, generally speaking, have. Because they're always saying to you, "Oh, you're a 10. My friend Lisa, she's a 10."
I never say that because I don't rank my friends like that.
Yeah, but they do that. They say, "Oh, people." This is what I think.
I would say, "Oh, she's amazing. She's so funny. She's so smart.
Yeah.
She's so driven. She's adorable."
Or they'd say, "She's so beautiful. How can you?"
I find her beautiful.
Yes, do you find her
beautiful? Because when you like someone, they're very beautiful to you.
I don't. I look at my friends; they don't think I'm beautiful.
Well, look who you hang around with.
My friend Chinese Elvis was just.
I like Chinese Elvis. Why didn't we bring him on the show?
He was going to a movie in Peckham. They have movies in the afternoon.
Oh, nice.
And
$4.99. Greatest cinema ever.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I think when we moved here to East Dulwich, I think it was $3.99, right, or $2.99 on a Tuesday.
Yeah, so it hasn't gone up that much.
Incredible.
That is incredible.
And they've always paid the living wage, and is truly an independent cinema.
What do you consider the living wage?
Whatever it's mandated by London living wage.
It's not. It would. Let's say Bill Gates got a job there. Would he get paid the living wage?
Yeah, he probably can live off his interest income pretty
I know, but let's say he says, "I've got to. I can't pay my bills. You're only paying me $12.95 an hour, whatever it is."
Then you might say, "Go invent some software."
Yeah, go steal some software.
There you go.
Am I allowed to say that was a joke?
Right, did he steal software?
He didn't steal.
Oh, you've illegally downloaded Windows 365?
No, you know what happened with Bill Gates. He went and bought the software from someone else.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, paid £25,000 from somebody else. And
who wrote the first word
of the operating
Microsoft
system?
Yeah.
And then he did something to it and sold it. I mean, he's done an amazing job. I don't like him at all now.
You don't?
No, not at all.
Have you ever listened to his Desert Island Disc? It's quite cute.
Of course it's going to be cute. You know, Hitler's
so nerdy. Cute. That's ridiculous. Don't
it's the same thing.
Don't be silly. That man's done amazing things in his development of vaccines around the world, preventing childhood blindness around the world.
Stop.
We should really let those kids go blind.
What has he got to hide?
Oh my God.
Basically.
Well, he had an affair. That's probably why his wife broke up with him.
Yeah, he did have an affair. And more than that, probably. I don't know what it was. Or maybe not.
Maybe he was a one-time affair-only guy.
Yeah. Do you break up with a guy just because he has an affair?
Maybe there were other things. Maybe she was having an affair. Maybe she was just better at it.
Yeah. Well, then she went and she married. She married a guy with a.
Is she married?
Well, this is what happened. She married the teacher in the schoolyard.
Oh, and they're divorced now, right?
Of course, they're divorced now. She wants to be married to a teacher.
She had a solid prenup.
I hope she gets taken for everything. I'll teach her a lesson. What it's like
for getting married? Why do you have this innate thing where women deserve to be punished?
They don't deserve to be punished, but they deserve equal theft of their assets.
So in the context of a long-term relationship where often the woman has given up years of her career, you consider that theft?
Well, the man's given up years of her career too. Both of the whole things. So just give everything.
Shared assets.
The point is this. That's why you're not marrying me, Lisa Moyle.
That is why
because you're afraid that I'm going to ask for half of your assets.
I am.
And you have assets now. Are things growing? I don't want to talk about it.
What kind of question is that?
I know it's a personal question.
It's a personal question. No, I don't respond to personal questions.
So here's the thing. So so this is our show. You can listen to us on Nunhead on Twitter, which is Nunhead Radio, Nunhead Radio, Nunhead Radio. Google or at Lewis Schaffer or on Twitter. I'll respond to you. I'll talk to you.
Are we allowed to share your happy news?
Well,
not yet.
I guess so. It's not happy. It was one day of incredible happiness.
Of working with a very, very, very famous comedian.
I feel a bit awkward because there's six episodes coming up. Should we talk about it now? You know how I am. I'll talk about anything.
I know. Really. Well, did they make you sign anything?
No, but that's not the point. The point is I don't want people to say.
You don't want to jinx that.
I don't want to jinx it.
All right. Well, let's just say you're going to be doing a program, initially 6 episodes?
6 episodes.
With a very, very famous
Which is what they do.
Famous
when they do 6 episodes. I don't know what.
And then they see if the world likes that?
No, they don't. They just do 6 episodes a year, and then they do.
Oh, right. Oh, so it's like 6 a year.
Like with Faulty Towers.
Are you giving us a clue?
I'm not. Oh,
was Faulty Towers on these 6 episodes?
No, but I'm giving an example. Didn't you say Faulty Towers as an example?
I thought it was one series.
Lisa.
You're giving clues because you want the world to know.
Of course I want the world to know, but the point is...
You can get it on a t-shirt when the time is right. Can we have like a little, party? It's going to, the first episode's going to be on.
Well, when they got taken down, when they fired me, whatever.
Yeah, okay.
When they got fired me. And also, I've been on
We'll be there for you.
I've been on this Headliners program for 3-4 times a week.
Maybe that's why Laura doesn't want to come on. Maybe you're too much now. Why don't you put your booty around a little bit more?
But you haven't watched what I've said or done.
I'll never watch TV News.
But then, you know what it could be? It could be they can come up to you, Lisa Moyle, and say, what are you doing with that misogynist, whatever I am, all the other
And I'll say that he's not a misogynist.
And I'm saying...
I'll say he's a bit of an ass, but I won't say
Are we allowed to use that word?
Oh, I forgot we're on the radio.
Yeah, we're on the radio.
Are we allowed to use that word?
I'm not sure.
He's a bit of a horse.
Cow. You can say a donkey.
He's a bit of a cow.
Horse.
He's a bit of a cow.
Cow. Can we use the word cow?
Yes.
Well, whatever it is, we apologize for that.
Yeah, anyway, I can say he's a bit of an idiot.
An idiot.
Yeah, but he's fundamentally a decent guy.
You know what? I don't like when you say that, Lisa Moyle.
He's a bit of an idiot, and I'm not sure why we've been hanging around together all these years.
I don't like that either. I don't like when people say, oh, he's a decent guy. You don't know that I'm a decent guy. I don't feel like I'm like before when I said... He's
not a nice man. You just have to know how to put your limits in place.
I think you're a 9, Lisa. That's all I have to say.
I think you're a 4.
A 4? I think you're probably about right. In my age bracket, I'm about a 1.
No.
Not in my age bracket.
In your age bracket, I think you score fairly highly.
Right, in my age...
You've got your own hair.
Yes, my own hair.
Your eyebrows are full, but not out of control.
Oh, yeah.
Your ears, this is really fortunate. You haven't got that big ear thing going on.
Right.
You know that older men get that like weird ear thing going on?
A cauliflower ear?
Not just that, but you know how their lobes sometimes just get
they just
enormous
keep on falling
and
down.
droopy?
Yeah, well, that's the only part of our body that keeps on growing is my nose.
And you don't have like weird hairs sprouting out anywhere.
Right, because
So you're right.
Yeah, am I right?
Yeah, I mean, your diet like would make you completely not fun to go out with.
Well, I'd let you eat whatever you want to eat. Of course, I'd be
I know,
belittling
but
you
like
for
part
eating
of
it.
exactly that takes away the joy.
Yeah, but I would order something and just pick around the bits, and then I would pick at your food. And,
Yeah, you're a picker at somebody else's food.
And I would ask you, please don't tell anybody that I had the pick.
And then
bread.
you'd be like, oh my God, that's so expensive. Why are you going to order that? Why are you going to order that? It's so expensive.
Yes, really annoying, really bad.
What about after you've worked with this famous comedian for a while and you hit the big time?
I will find a way to have no money.
Oh, you will, for sure.
And then everything will still be expensive. I'm not a cheap person. Am I a cheap person? I don't think I am.
No, I mean, you're careful.
No, I'm careful only because I have no money. But the fact is you can't be considered cheap when you have no money.
You can't?
Right. And I've proven to have no money because I've been bankrupt on 2 continents. Right.
And you've had no money for a long time, to be fair.
Hold on a second. How do you measure? We're running out of time.
Yeah.
We're running out of time.
Maybe you're not cheap because you have no money.
Yeah, because if I had money, I'd give you money. Right? Mm-hmm. But the other thing is...
And you like to do stuff, actually. So you're not someone's going to be like, oh, I'm going to just stay home because I don't want to pay £2.99 on a Tuesday.
Or to go into a restaurant or something to eat. But the other side of it is, what is it... What you said I was a 4. I thought
I said a 2.
A 2, okay.
But I was just doing that to
I know, no, it's okay.
That was the revenge rating.
But if you took a list of 100 women between the ages of 18...
Why are you going to ask an 18-year-old to rank a 60-something-year-old man?
Because on an 18-year-old, I'm a 1. On a 30-year-old, I'm a 2.
Yes.
On a 40-year-old, I'm a 4.
Right.
On a 50-year-old, I'm a 6.
You're hitting a 6.
On a 70-year-old, I'm a 9.
Could be.
Could be. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
So perspective.
So on average...
But why would an 18-year-old... I mean, there's very rare...
Be. That's what I'm saying. She wouldn't be.
You know how like all young girls are in love with Pedro Pascal?
I don't know who he is. He's a tennis player.
Oh, he's an actor. You know who he is. The guy from Narcos and The Last of Us.
I never saw it, actually.
And he was in Game of Thrones. Anyway.
Every
teenage girl is in love with him.
Yeah, but what is his age?
He's pushing 50.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So maybe you missed your peak.
I pushed out of the way.
Anyway,
okay. Well, here's the news. I mean,
hurry up, news.
I forgot what the news is.
I saw some news of Nunhead the other day.
Yeah, the news is they're putting in a parking restriction.
Oh yeah, that I saw, and I knew that would
we should discuss
pumping.
that. Oh my God!
What did I see about someone who was born in Nunhead? Someone famous who was born in Nunhead. Oh my God, it's completely.
Oh no! Now we got to know. We'll have to find out either watch next week or watch the continuation of
because
this.
It might come to me.
It might come to you, or I'll Google it on the YouTube.
On the YouTube.
Okay, this has been our show.
I meant to share.
I want to thank you, Laura, for listening in the past and for being there. We hope you come back. Please come back. Please come back. I'm bad, but you know that about me.
Does she not want to be friends with you? Full stop.
I don't know. I didn't call her on the phone. I'll call her on the phone.
Is that what you do?
Thank you, Lisa Moyle. We're running out of time. Thank you, Lisa Moyle. Thank you, we're Resonance FM. Thank you, Peter and Chris and Ed and who else?
Team.
And
I don't know who's on the team anymore.
Who knows what's on the team? I want to thank you, Neil McLennan.
Let's go back to the studio. Give money to Resonance.
Give money to Resonance.
We can go back to the studio.
RESON, Resonance. We can go back to the studio. Okay. As I said, this has been our best show ever. Thank you, Lisa Moyle.
You're welcome.
Okay. Am I forgetting someone?
We'll give more hints about your fame coming.
Richard and Anna, and you'll find out more.
Richard and Anna, he's going to be famous. Baby.
I can't. The audience can't see me smiling wryly and saying this is ridiculous.
You'll find a way to mess it up.
I'm absolutely messing up. I love you, Lisa, and see you next week. Okay.
Oh my God! I wish I could remember who the famous person was.
Yeah. Well, let's look.
You talk for a sec. I'll look because I'm faster than
Okay.
you.
All right, so this has been our show. Okay, now this is just for you and me. This is the people out there who are watching on the.
Don't go on your phone because I'm going on my phone. You can't have two people.
Okay, I'm not on the phone. I like them.
I know what it was. It just came to me.
Yeah.
One of the technicians on the Titanic was born in Nunhead.
Yes, I read that. Yeah. I didn't think that was worthy.
I saw a picture of him. In the picture, he was being carried off from somewhere where he'd like had part of his foot amputated or something.
And he had lived.
He lived.
Lived at the expense of women and children.
I can't remember. No. Or did he? This guy, like the main guy, died, but this guy lived because the main guy helped save everyone. He went down with the ship kind of guy.
But he didn't.
Well, he lived.
He lived. You know what? He lived. Why women and children first?
Because we reproduce, and children have their whole lives ahead of them.
Right. So you're saying men are less important than women. There you go. You heard it right here from Lisa Moyle.
I mean, I guess because in that context, in those days, the women looked after the children. The children are the future. So you can see why that would have happened, and perceptions of women as, needing to be protected. Now, I think men would push women out of the way and be like,
now we would.
Every person for himself.
I never was this way, but now I am this way.
He was a wireless operator.
Right, so he was on the telephone thing. He was one of those people in the basement that was very important.
Who survived and helped save hundreds more.
Oh yeah, bull.
So well done.
Don't believe that.
To Nunhead for giving birth to someone who really helped people in times of need.
We don't know that to be a fact.
That's right. I saw it in the New York Times. Cool.
In the New York Times, did it say Nunhead?
Or did they pick up on the story in the Times and say Nunhead? I don't remember exactly, but at least I remembered. And I remember thinking, I must tell Lewis. That's the kind of thing he'll find interesting.
It is very interesting.
I just think it's awful that you're so cynical that you don't think someone could have worked hard to save someone else and live.
Well, didn't all the women live and all the men died?
I don't know, because my facts about the Titanic are largely based on the movie.
Yeah, so it wasn't that good.
I'm not sure how accurate my knowledge is.
Can you imagine if the Titanic happened today?
Mm-hmm. This is why I don't go on cruises.
The conspiracy theories.
Oh my God! Nothing can happen without people like you coming up with.
Right, I'm a conspiracy theorist.
You are. You love them.
I'm a conspiracy theorist.
You love them.
No, I've had a major argument this week on the TV.
With whom?
With Josh Howie. You know Josh, he's been on the show. Oh, we interviewed him last week. I went to the studio.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's very funny.
What, to put on instead of the regular show?
Yeah.
Oh, right. So that's what you did for last week's show.
Yeah, that's what I did for last week.
Okay. How was that?
I mean, it's pleasant. It's really interesting, but
I'm going to look up a picture because I can't remember. Keep talking.
Yes.
So what happened? What did you argue about?
Well,
is he a conspiracy theorist?
No. What's happening now is that every time somebody somebody compares something with the Holocaust, right? They shut the person down. They say, "How can you compare it with the Holocaust?" Right? And it's basically used as a weapon to get the person fired from their job. Whether it is serious or not, the person, Diane Abbott, Gary Lineker.
It wasn't because she was comparing people to the Holocaust. You're going off totally in the wrong direction there.
But no,
she said, she implied that Jews hadn't suffered.
Yeah, but at the same time, Gary Lineker, who said they wanted to fire Gary Lineker because Gary Lineker said that the people the
language being used was like
the
Nazi
Holocaust.
Germany,
right?
Nazi
and a lot
Germany.
of people were using this as a saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe he said that." Right?
I don't think a lot of people did say that. Only
that.
in the powers that be. Only Tories, because they were upset about being compared.
Tories, obviously. So the Tories are using that to get rid of Gary Lineker, and with Andrew,
he's not gone.
With Andrew Bridgen,
who's he again?
He's a guy who's an MP who believes that the vaccines had hurt a lot of people. Okay, he believes that there's been damage or hurt, whatever, the vaccine damage. And
I'm looking him up.
You're looking him up, but we're on a TV show.
Because you're talking, I'm listening. And we're not on a radio show. We're on a YouTube channel.
So he was speaking in front of Parliament.
And he was expelled.
And he was expelled because he said that the vaccine damage was the worst tragedy, the worst Holocaust. Don't, this is not what I'm asking.
Ridiculous.
Well,
ridiculous.
Whatever.
That is completely different.
All right. I'm asking you, the audience, to judge this, okay? And you're going to have to take my side of this because this is ridiculous. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he compared it with the Holocaust,
which is
saying that the Holocaust was worse.
But this was the second worst thing that happened to Western civilization
since the Holocaust. Era. Okay, so what is worse? What is worse than what's the worst thing that's happened since the Holocaust in Western civilization? The best.
I guess you'd have to look at the numbers, but probably in Rwanda, that would be pretty close.
I think that was 1 million. What about what happened in China?
What about what's been happening in Syria?
What about what's happening in Syria?
There's no we're probably not even remembering some of the biggies, but there's no shortage of absolutely systemic execution and violation of people's rights and destruction of whole populations.
Yes, over time, right? And at the end of the day, what we just did is we compared these with each other to figure out which would we say is the worst.
No, but I think that's such a weird exercise.
It might be a weird exercise.
The rollout of a vaccine in response to a pandemic.
We haven't gotten to that. I haven't gotten to that point. We're obviously they're all different. Obviously there are different people who died. How long?
I guess there's different measures if you want it to be that gross.
Yeah, it's the same way you have bands. Right? Obviously, the Rolling Stones are not the same as the Beatles, and you're comparing Led Zeppelin to the Eagles or Backstreet Boys to One Direction, whatever.
Yeah, but you're infantilizing this.
No, I'm not. I'm saying what I'm saying is you can compare anything to anything, right? You could say who is a better person on this show? Is it Lisa or is it Lewis? Right? Yeah. You could say, and some people say, you know what, I like Lisa more. I think Lisa does add so much more to the party. Or I think Lewis does because he does actually preparation.
But you could also argue these are all very different things. Like when you have the systematic, targeted destruction of particular populations, Jews, Gypsies,
Armenians
during the earlier time, gay people. Right. They had some pretty firm targets in mind.
Yes.
In Rwanda, you can argue that it was, so, I guess you could say that's different than the horrors of slavery, and why would we compare them? Because they're such different, awful experiences for the people involved.
But you can compare them.
I don't think, because they're so different. Right. And I would never, I just don't think you can rank horror in that way. Yes, the Holocaust stands alone, and I think in many ways it's, in terms of the destruction of the people, it's probably best to just leave that where it is. You can talk about the language and the political control in a separate way. So the Nazis wanted to, do this, and this, in addition to the wholesale execution of entire groups. Right, so you were saying,
if somebody says the Holocaust, it's wrong for them to even think of any other situation that might be similar, comparable.
Well, I could see, if you're just I guess it depends on the context of the conversation, but I can see why, if someone was comparing that to the vaccine rollout in response to a pandemic, then I would probably be tempted to remove their whip as well.
Right.
It's irresponsible.
No, it isn't.
It's reckless.
It isn't
and
reckless.
In a time where putting the COVID vaccine to one side, take-up of other vaccines, again, is experiencing a massive dip for a variety of reasons.
And so
I think it's incredibly irresponsible. I think it's really easy to, in populations that aren't being crippled and dying from polio, aren't being, subjected to massive outbreaks of measles and other things that we just take for granted, diphtheria, whatever it is, to be like, oh yeah, we don't need vaccines.
Right, so you're saying...
They've saved more people worldwide. Smallpox. Do you want to get smallpox?
I actually...
Do you want to get tuberculosis?
Do you want to know something?
Do you want to get polio?
I don't believe that
you don't believe in polio.
I would not have my kids vaccinated for any of these things.
I think you're very foolish. But then again, you're not an MP, so I think your responsibility for your words and accountability for what you say is very different than someone who's been elected as an MP in a party.
Yeah, but because what you're saying is we can say the truth because it affects other people's actions.
No, I'm saying it's not the truth. And I think that comparison, is so ridiculous and so disrespectful that I can see why he would have had the whip.
Well, then you would take Josh's side. I personally think, number one, you should be able, it hurts the Jews, okay, of which I am one, right? I would say I'm very Jewy, okay? Mm-hmm. When somebody says, what about this? Mm-hmm. What about, the Holocaust was horrific, was the worst thing in the history of the world, basically, to this level of mass evil, concentration camps and gas chambers and rounding up people. It had never happened like this before.
I was at the Jewish Memorial in Berlin last week.
Yes, so they could say it never happened like this before.
As my daughter said, Jews deserve to get in for free.
That's very funny.
We've earned it, she said.
Which one? The redheaded one?
Yeah, the redheaded one.
Yeah, she's the funny one. Is she the funny one?
No, they're all quite funny.
They're all quite funny. So what did I just say? I said,
you said Josh disagreed with you. Anyone should be able to say anything.
No. I was saying, don't jump the gun. I'm saying that I think, and you know me, I don't think the Holocaust was a little thing. I don't think it was like...
I'm surprised you believe in it, because it's the kind of thing that you would sign up to. It was
No, I'm not going to even go there. But the point is...
But your type does that. Your type are kind of Holocaust survivors.
Yeah, because when some of them are, and this is what Josh said. Josh said that you COVID deniers, you're Holocaust deniers, you're anti-Semites.
There's a lot of crossover there.
There is some
not
crossover.
Always, but there is a lot of crossover.
But
you're like 9/11 deniers as well. There's a big bucket of stuff that people that you weirdly are drawn to in recent years.
Right, because I don't trust the narrative, so I don't trust anything. This is another point. The other point, just briefly, is that if somebody came to me...
You're the do my own research crowd.
Yes, if somebody came to me and I had a choice, there are two people sitting there. One is the head of a department at Oxford University, the number one guy in whatever. Let's just say physics. Let's say, we'll talk about let's say there's a guy who's a flat earther. And he has a theory about the flat earth.
I know you would 100% be drawn to him.
I would be drawn to this guy. Yeah. I would think that the guy who's head of physics...
I don't think that's the kudos to yourself that you think it is.
No. I think people think that I'm an idiot, but I know why I think that. Anyway, the point is, this is what the point is, Lisa.
So why did you fall out with Josh? Just cut to the chase.
I fell out with Josh because I think it's bad for the Jews when you say to people, you can't even think something, right? You can't even think there could be something bad out there because...
I don't think that's what they're saying.
I had a girlfriend when I was when I was in my 30s, in my early 30s. And she was a Holocaust survivor. No.
She wasn't. That's such a lie.
No.
My grandmother was a Holocaust survivor. My step-grandmother.
Her parents were Holocaust survivors. So I think of her as a Holocaust survivor. Because her parents would not allow her to show any sadness. Because... or maybe they didn't do this deliberately.
So this is like intergenerational trauma.
Yes, and I know that girl that I'm seeing me get married to has something to say about this, but I think that there's truth to it. So
intergenerational trauma?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure, obviously. But we have beyond that. That she was so sensitive to certain things. She could not feel sadness over anything. She wasn't allowed to because it got through to her.
Be strong?
Yes. How could you be sad? Because your little doll, you misplaced your doll.
You didn't die in the Holocaust.
You didn't die in the Holocaust like all your grandparents, like all your parents' cousins.
That's intergenerational trauma.
It's intergenerational trauma. And when you say to someone that they can't feel something, right? It just creates weird stuff.
But I don't think anyone's saying you can't feel something. You can be horrified at things that happen all over the world. If you're in a position of political power, you should certainly be smart enough to find other vocabulary to describe that.
So why
do you have to do that?
Let's say like in Rwanda where a single group was targeted, okay? similar to the Nazis. Yeah, there wasn't the efficiency.
No, they didn't have time to put together a whole...
Right, there were differences. And so I sit there and say, the Holocaust was really bad. You know, we don't talk enough about the Rwanda situation, which they don't, obviously. The Rwanda situation. And then somebody says, how dare you
But what you described is completely rational. You weren't going, oh, well, you think the Holocaust was bad. Wait till you see the vaccine rollout. That's completely different. What you just said makes complete sense.
That's because
we don't talk enough about horrors that happen all over the world.
But the number, in my mind, the pain that the vaccine, not just the vaccine, that the whole COVID lies...
That you believe to be lies.
That I believe, right?
You believe to be lies.
I'm not poo-pooing the Holocaust, but I think the COVID lies has hurt...
What you believe to be. In my view, irrationally.
Millions.
But why do you need to use why couldn't you express that view, as you just did, without using the language or comparison of the Holocaust? You should be smart enough to describe that.
Because this is my point.
And you're not an MP.
No, this is my point. My point is, he isn't smart enough because he should know that you can't use the Holocaust. You are right about that. But why can't you use the Holocaust? And that's right. Like, for example...
Why do you need to use that as a tool?
No, not why do you need to.
The systematic destruction of populations.
And do you know what?
It's like when people talk about collectivization, which killed like 22 million people or something.
Yeah.
There's just so many things you can use to compare atrocities. Like, why can't you just find a vocabulary to convey your opinion without drawing on the Holocaust?
But because, you said that 3 or 4 times, and at the end of the day, why shouldn't you be allowed to?
No one said he shouldn't allow you, but don't be surprised when they take the whip from you. He's not going to be arrested for doing that.
No, he wasn't. They didn't take the whip.
He's not going to be...
They didn't take the whip from him for that reason. They took the whip from him, okay, because he was break. This is what I think is the reason. British politics is a very rugby-like game. You've seen rugby games, right?
I have.
You have. So you know they're all moving forward in a line together and moving back. There's no...
Only in certain parts of the game, but you mean like a scrum.
Yeah, like a scrum. It's like they're not... There's no lone guy who runs all the way out where they throw the ball to.
Yeah, well, sometimes there is, but I don't think you've watched enough rugby.
No, I don't think they throw the ball forward. They don't throw the ball forward.
You can't throw it backwards. You can throw it forwards.
You
mean not like all the way down the pitch?
No, you can't throw the ball forward. You have to go. You can go sideways, but I don't know the game that well.
Yeah, maybe I'm getting confused. I'm not a
anyway,
expert. I haven't watched rugby.
Anyway, there are no individual stars in British politics. Because everybody has to march in a row against the enemy that's marching in a row. There's
like the redcoats.
Like the redcoats.
The redcoats are coming.
Right. They all have to be in a row, and that's how they get their power. It's not like one guy is here, one guy is here, where they can be shot off. They have to stay in a row. The other team...
You're talking about party loyalty, party line.
Yes. And so he broke party loyalty, and he wanted to give this speech in Parliament. And he
did he give it? I haven't really kept
Well, you should have seen it. It was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
Did he give the speech?
Well,
or they knew what he was going to say before.
They knew what he was going to give a speech.
How did they know he was going to mention the Holocaust?
He wasn't. No, it wasn't. He wasn't about this. Is no Holocaust.
Oh, this is something else.
This is the same thing. It's about talking about COVID, and he mentions the. He's about to give the speech. He stands up to give the speech, and the main whip, whatever it's called, is it called a whip? Goes, the conservative guy goes to everybody in the conservative benches and says, you can't sit here and listen to him.
Oh, really? So they physically removed them from the chamber, or they urged them to leave the chamber?
Yes, and then he went across the aisle to the Labour ones who were sitting there still, and there weren't that many.
So they kicked this guy out of the party permanently, or suspended him?
Oh, they kicked him out permanently.
He's
not
out.
Coming back. Oh, no.
So everyone left.
So in this one thing, he basically went around. The video is...
I kind of wish we could do this in the U.S.
Yeah, well, it went around with one guy saying, no one can listen to this guy.
what says equivalent of everyone turning their backs to him in a way.
Yes.
So they got up and left.
They all got up and left.
How did they know what he was going to say?
Because he said Andrew Bridgen is going to give a speech on the coronavirus. They'd known Andrew Bridgen had said privately.
Oh, I see. So they had to give him the time. Did they have to give him the time?
He's a member of MP. He's going to give a speech. You're allowed to give a speech.
So they have to schedule in at some stage.
Right. So
those are the rules.
So those are the rules. So there was no one, and you can Google it. We can Google it afterwards. So no one actually saw it. And it was so shocking.
And then he got kicked out after he made the speech.
And so I guess, and then in the speech he said the Israelis were totally involved in this COVID thing. No country was more COVID vaccine than they were. They were the number one COVID vaccine people. And
you mean in terms of the population being vaccinated?
Percent of the population being vaccinated, the speed of them being vaccinated, and the research that they had done. And it's now that they're actually coming out and saying in Israel that it wasn't effective. And so it wasn't like that they were never believed it, and now we still don't believe it. They believed in it. And now they don't believe it. And so some epidemiologists, virologists said that the COVID vaccine is the worst atrocity since the Holocaust. So some Jewish guy said this. Okay?
In Israel.
In Israel. He quotes it. He says, this Jewish guy says this. And
I hope he called him an Israeli. But.
Yes, he's Israeli. He didn't say Jewish guy. He says Israeli, as this said it. And because he used the word Holocaust, it was... What I'm saying is, listen to this, Lisa. I found this when I moved to this country. Tell me if
you still haven't convinced me that this guy should have kept his place in the party.
Well, whatever. We can get to that. Do you remember, or do you know, when you're in this country and you're speaking to somebody? I'll tell you, this happened to me. I was in the Barclays Bank over in East Dulwich. Do you remember the Barclays Bank?
Closed now. Yeah.
Closed now.
I think it's
and I went there, and they told me, something like you know how there were rules, obscure rules. They act like you're supposed to know or something. Oh no, you can't come in today.
Did you know that? Someone told me yesterday, sorry to interrupt, that you're not allowed to raise a British flag in front of your house. It's against the law.
I had not heard that, no.
I had not heard that either.
All right, we'll have to check that out.
I'll have to check that out.
If you know the evidence.
He said no one gets prosecuted for it, but it's actually only government can do it or something. Isn't that?
Okay, well,
I think as an American that seems weird.
Should we stop this?
Well, you carry on.
You're going to check this.
What were you going to say?
Well, we're going to wait because I want to have your full attention.
You have my full attention.
No,
we need to wrap it up and send the show soon, actually.
Put this down. Yeah, well, just 5 more minutes. Anyway, here's the point. Is that you go into... So I was in Barclays.
And what did they tell you not to do?
And they told me, well, you can't get this money at this time right now because you didn't do something yesterday which you should have known, but we didn't tell you.
Which was it? What was it?
I don't remember. It was something like that. It wasn't that exactly, but it was like that.
You wanted to take money out, and you couldn't.
Or like you go to the doctor and you think like in America you can get a prescription done right there at the moment because you need it because you've run out of your blood pressure pills and they say no we need at least 48 hours.
Yeah, you need to do it online and order it.
Right, and I didn't know that. And
although they will do it right there.
Whatever this minor thing is, it doesn't matter what the minor thing is. And I go, oh shit, like that, like not like you're bad.
You weren't being abusive.
I wasn't. I didn't think I was being abusive. But
you didn't say, you give me my money.
I go, oh damn, like that. That's what it meant. Oh damn. Oh, God. And I was like upset.
You were frustrated.
I was frustrated, but I wasn't taking it out on the girl. But woman.
Unless they're hiring kids.
They're whatever it is. You're a girl to me. Everybody's a girl. We're old school. Please take no offense when I said the girl. She was definitely not a girl.
She was definitely a grown-up.
Well, she was in her 20s and I was in my 40s, so to me it's a girl.
She's in spitting territory.
Yeah, but at that time I wasn't that interested because I was married at the time and I hated
and you needed to get some money to your wife.
Yeah, to get her money.
All right, carry on. So she took it as an offense to her.
She goes, oh, no more. That's it. Interaction over. I'm not talking to you. Like that.
Oh, I love her style. Oh my God, I'm going to adopt it.
But isn't that, have you seen?
Interaction over.
Yes. Well, I made up that thing. But
hands up.
Hands up.
We're done here.
We're done here. Because
can I speak to the manager?
Yeah.
No, you cannot.
Can you read the sign? We will not tolerate abusive behavior.
I mean, in a way, it's good that they protect their staff.
This is not the point that I'm making.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't protecting her. But she, instead of looking at the nuance of what I was saying.
Yeah, you were drats to yourself.
She has a list of things you cannot say. If someone says the word.
Yeah, but they have to, because otherwise, as you described, she's relatively young.
No, she
wasn't. What if
wasn't.
someone says, "Oh, drats, I forgot my pen"? She probably needed a guide.
Yeah, because
of the no-no words, just like we have for radio.
So I'm saying in this country, maybe that's the answer. In this country, mentioning the Holocaust is an excuse for them to end the interaction, no matter what the meaning behind the use of it.
Then a smart person finds other ways to frame their argument.
Yes,
every society, every broadcast agency has their standards.
A case could be made. A case could be made. I agree. Actually, I do agree with you. You can't mention the Holocaust.
Just leave it alone.
Yes.
I mean, don't leave it alone.
But that doesn't mean it's right that you can't mention the Holocaust. It doesn't mean...
Some things are just accepted in the same way that we don't use and allow certain language to describe people of color unless it comes from them.
Yes, and people should understand that. But but possibly you can use words. When this guy said it's the worst thing since the Holocaust, right?
Yeah.
Since the Holocaust. He wasn't saying the Holocaust was nothing. He's saying this COVID thing is horrific.
Yeah, he's putting it on a par with something.
No, he did not put it on a par.
He said since, the worst since.
Yes, but that's not on a par. It's the worst since. This is the best sex.
Why are you defending this dimwit?
Because I want you, I don't understand. I didn't say par. Par means equal. Comparable could mean equal, but it also means when you compare something, you can compare. You can compare the Beatles.
You're trying to make excuses for this guy in the weirdest way.
No,
We're not
I'm
talking
not.
about rock bands. So we have a different threshold for what we find acceptable if we're talking about a band or a movie
but
or
you
a meal than we do when it comes to the wholesale slaughter of population.
No. You're using the word
interaction over.
Interaction over.
This is our safe words from now on. Interaction over.
You're using the word comparable, right, to mean equal, and maybe that's my problem because the language moves on. Language moves on, and where people would say comparable means equal. When I'm saying we're comparing, go compare. Right? Compare the market. See what's out there.
See what atrocities are available for you to compare to.
How could you compare Churchill Insurance with Aviva? How could you?
There is a platform for me to do that.
Are you saying Churchill, which is a tiny company compared to Aviva? Aviva is one of the oldest companies in the country. Is it? I don't know. I don't know. So. I think it is.
Anyway, you can compare them. There's lots of comparison sites out there. That's why we don't use the language to describe insurance policies or rock bands to the wholesale slaughter of population.
Here's what I think. I think this is another example.
We don't agree.
No, it's like you're basically a smart person for a woman. You're basically, but or maybe I'm out of touch. Maybe the word compare can't be used. You can't compare. It's like people mention...
I just think it's weird that you're very much in this words don't matter from people in positions of power, where they matter a lot.
No, words and intent matter, but he didn't
The right wing in the U.S. said something about Jews and anti-Jews, and next thing you know, there's synagogues in flames.
People should have a right to put things into context. I think that the COVID situation is horrific, and I would say, based on the size of it, the internationality of it, the fact that it affected every single country, the fact that all these old ladies were in nursing homes, couldn't get a hug from their grandchildren, while they forced little kids to wear masks, so they couldn't learn language, whereas we were locked inside, all these people locked inside, where all those people who died from cancer or whatever because the hospitals were, all the people who possibly died from vaccines, and they have been proven that vaccines did kill people. Yes, they have. That vaccines killed people.
Well, every vaccine, there are people who have adverse reactions.
Right,
That's
and you have
true.
you have to add
absolutely true.
Right, you got to add that in. So why can't you compare it to other atrocities?
Why do you have this need to?
Whatever, you should be able to.
No,
all right.
not
This
if
has
you're
been
in a
our show.
position of
This is
power.
the last show that Lisa Moyle is going to be in. This is the absolute last show.
We don't agree.
Okay, before we go,
but we've been not agreeing for many years.
We're not over. It's over. It's over between us.
Interaction over.
It's over. I don't
Show over.
Why do I have to? And why should I interact with Laura if she hates me? If you hate me too.
I didn't say, oh, stop being a baby. Oh,
you don't.
You're very. That's like the most male thing you've said. You don't agree with me, therefore you don't like me. So you're mean to me.
You are the most abusive relationship that I've had since my ex-wife.
Thank you.
Since my ex-wife.
No, you're with your current partner is equally abusive.
It's equally abusive.
I demand to be compared with other abusive relationships.
Yeah, but she throws me a bone occasionally. You don't even throw me a bone.
I'm not throwing you any bones.
Yes, exactly. So at least.
So only if it's denominated by sex, then you're okay.
My wife, whatever you call her.
Did she have sex with you?
Yes, but I don't want to admit that because it makes her look bad. Why'd you have to do that? You were just embarrassed her.
I bet your ex-wife.
Oh, my ex-wife.
I'm not talking about your current wife.
Here's the point.
Fiance.
The point is that we've got to learn to listen to Lewis Schaffer. Okay, this has been our show. Okay. Nunhead America Radio.
Thank you. Bye.
See me on TV tonight, 11 o'clock.
Should you wish to?
No, I don't think it's going to be on. Available. You got to check on GB News. You got to go to Twitter. We're on Twitter at Nunhead Radio. You got to go to our. You're going to be able to. You're probably watching this on YouTube. You watch the other videos. Put your like and your follow when you get these things. We're doing once a week.
Vaguely creepy. You put
your
once
like
a week.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I was looking at something at the bottom of your screen because I didn't know what it meant. Anyway, okay. Say thank you and goodbye.
Say thank you, but make sure we're covering everything. Thank you, everybody, for this. There's got to be one or two more things that I'm doing.
All right. Well, you're doing a TV show with a famous guy, but it
doesn't matter. It won't be on until September. But I mean,
what? It's something to look forward to.
What can they see me? Oh,
are you doing any comedy?
On the 9th of whatchamacallit? On the 9th of May, I'll be at Comedy Unleashed.
Oh, where's that? So I can know to avoid it.
That's at. It's at the.
London?
Yeah, no, it's at the not the Underground Club, the basement. What is it called?
The backyard thing.
Backyard basement. Yeah.
See, you can avoid I don't listen. I do.
Okay, don't walk away. Can we just say goodbye? We were done. You can't. We got to press the button.
I'm known for my abrupt endings, according to my children.
Well, I'm even more abrupt than you are, but you were abrupt. It's like suddenly you leave. I gotta go. Goodbye. Oh my God, I gotta go. I'm stuck in a room with Lewis
That's what my daughter said every time I have a meal with her.
You're just like
I stand up and I walk away while they're in the middle of a conversation, according to them.
You know what you're like? You're like a man having sex. Is basically
done.
You're done. Are you that way in bed, Lisa? Are you that way in bed?
I'm done.
I've come. Oh, you disgust me.
I gotta get dressed now and
go. You're like
I might get a snack on my way out.
Are there any women like that? There must be somewhere. I've heard that there are some women, but not that many.
Aren't women normally like that with you?
With me. When they realize, oh my God, what have I done?
I've just had sex with Lewis Schaffer.
Just had sex with Lewis Schaffer.
That could be a T-shirt.
I just had sex with Lewis. Take me to a shower. Take me to. Give me a bath.
Take me to a shower. Is that what you were going to say?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Take me to the river.
Thank you, Lisa.
Goodbye.